Grand Rising, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. For everybody that's new, it's Fresh, y'all, and this is Gorilla Hustle. Today we're gonna talk about coherence. What is coherence? When Kobe Bryant took on the Mamba mentality, that's coherence. When Eminem became Slim Shady, that is coherence. When the great Malcolm X went from Red to Malcolm X, that's coherence. Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, when he went from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali, that's coherence. It's magnetism. Now that we have the tool for artificial intelligence, I want you to go and I want you to find one of the strongest prompts for magnetism, coherence, coherent resonance. Find that prompt, come back to artificial intelligence and tell it. Give you a 30-day practical guide for coherent resonance. Coherence. Define what coherence is, because we're speaking about magnetism. We're speaking about the art and the living of being able to manifest your wildest desires. I hear so many people that have become super successful. Then we got some fish jumping that become super successful. And they speak about the power of delusion and how you gotta be delusional. I understand it from a standpoint of you have to brainwash yourself. I was having a powerful conversation today, and it was like, man, breaking limited beliefs is really, once you become an adult, you have to go back and deprogram and reprogram. We're breaking limiting beliefs is what we're doing. So when I say you got to brainwash yourself, it is because someone or something, some entity or institution has already brainwashed you. You have a set of parameters that you're already, right, without even knowing, you're operating from them. It's autonomous. It means it's just happening. It's a program running in the background. So when we get to speaking about magnetic energy, and everybody has these desires, we're speaking about what people call manifestation. Once you, like Kobe Bryant, are all the way in tune with it, it becomes a practice. You go down and you use the artificial intelligence to give you a 30-day practical steps for coherent resonance. And I'll take it even further. Let's take it one step further. As you're creating these practical steps, these practical guides for coherent resonance, what you really want to do. So I started studying Kobe Bryant from the standpoint of like, man, what was he doing with the Mamba mentality? Some people call it identity shifting. And we're going to go even one step. It's all about depth. It's all about depth. Anybody can talk about the surface. But what is the depth? The depth is you are creating a whole new identity. You can no longer operate off of the old programming, no longer. I'm going to tell you why. The old programming has carried you to this point. So if you got childhood traumas, if you have limiting beliefs, if you're one of those people that say money is the root of all evil, it doesn't even say that. It says that money cannot become your God. So we're talking about limiting beliefs. We're talking about manifesting desires. What is holding you from moving to that place? Because we're talking about different desires. Some people like, man, I want to move to this place. I thought about it. I said, well, what is one of the limiting beliefs that I have about one day going to Vietnam? And I'm going to go there for 30 days. I'm going to see Southeast Asia. One of the limiting beliefs, I got to fly across the ocean. That brings up a lot of fear. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to be over the ocean for however many hours it is. You know what I mean? 15 to 24 hours flying over the ocean in a huge tin can flying across the ocean. That brings apart a lot of fear, limiting beliefs that got to be broken. Another one, let's just say one day I choose to go, and for the first time it's going to be 30 days. Then I want to go for a year. I'm like, man, how am I going to create the finances over there? And I know that there's a creator, but we also know that we are in this flesh. And the thing that I want y'all to really realize is a lot of people don't come with this level of vulnerability. They never talk about it. They just show you the highlight reel of the glory. They just show you, oh man, I'm, through God, I can do all things. They never speak about their vulnerabilities. Every person, I got a cousin, man, and I don't know if he's gonna ever watch this video, but my cousin is one of the strongest people I know, my cousin Duck. And somewhere he has to have some type of limitation because he lifts weights. He's lifted 400 pounds. He's lifted 450. He's lifted a lot. So whatever that threshold, let's say it's 550. That's the threshold. That's the ceiling. Somehow he has to break that limitation in order for him to get to the next level. When we was running track in high school, I would run, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, what does it take to break to be faster? Because my cousin was one of the fastest people. In fact, he probably was the fastest person. And the white boys was running faster. And I'm like, how in the hell, Duck, what did you do? I said, what did you do? And he didn't say anything. He said, and I always went back, and as we got older, this was in high school, and I asked him this question, and he did this. Or it might have been after high school. I asked him about it one day. And as we was older, and then I always remembered that for years and years and years. Coherent resonance is what we're speaking about. Creating a brand new identity for the people out there that's having these limitations. Use artificial intelligence. Research and understand, define coherence. And then move beyond the thinking, the goals. Get into action. In fact, get into radical action. Get into submerging yourself. We always talk about the depths of the ocean, and this is just a river, but we're using this as a reference. Submerge yourself in it. Live in it. I come into nature, man, because it's an instant way to get into a state of coherent resonance. What I've learned is what nature does is it begins to bring the serenity. It begins to quiet the distractions and the noise that is within everybody's mind. Unless you're one of them Buddhist monks and you got more of a state of serenity, a state of wholeness, a state of enlightenment, if you will. One day people gonna ask questions about, man, like what is this? What is this state? And I'm gonna tell them it's coherent resonance. It's flow state. Another way that they call it the flow state. A lot of these people have created what they call an alternative identity. They've created, the Mamba mentality was operating from like Superman. A lot of y'all grew up watching Superman. He was Clark Kent. And then when he went in the booth, that's the Black Mamba. When you go into that booth and you become Superman, the whole key is when you want to manifest and you want to become magnetic to your heart's desires, it is going in that booth. And once you come out as Superman, you don't go back in the booth to become Clark Kent anymore. As children, it was called using our imagination. And every time you're around a child, you'll see a child just fly through the air. And they're just flying through the air. And they're living from the childlike state that's in the Bible, that's in the Word. That is how you activate the magnetism. Coherent resonance. And people call it all different type of stuff, y'all. Some people call it operating from the Holy Spirit. Some people call it instant manifestation. People call it, you know what I mean, living from the delusion or being delusional. Coherent magnetism. Coherent magnetism. That's powerful too. Coherent magnetism, but coherent resonance. The law of vibration. The law of reaping and sowing, and the law of reciprocity. So many different ways of calling this. Closing up this video, let's get to practical steps. What a lot of people, most people, the majority of people, what they do is this. They have these thoughts. Or I always call it like the power switch. It's like a light switch. You turn the light switch on, you see the light in the room. Turn it off, it's dark. What people do is, just like a child, they'll sit there and keep messing with the light switch to turn it on and off in their life. And if you want to have magnetism, this is something, y'all, that I've been researching and just trying to understand, because there's times in my life where I'll have a flow state. You know what I mean? And I want to manifest, and it's easier to manifest. And I'm like, man, like, what was I doing when that was happening that effortlessly and that instantaneously? Like Tip said, expeditiously, it was happening without me having to do it. And what it was doing, y'all, is like having the heart's desires, right? Wanting that thing or heart's desires, and then detach it from it. You're entering the spirit realm and you're saying, these are the things that I want to manifest, God. And then you do what the church always talked about. Let go and let God. And you say, God, I trust in you with this. Because God wants us. This is the thing that they never tell you. They tell you to choose a sinner. They tell you about your brokenness. So that way you stay in the loop of control. But once you become free, you realize that God wants greatness for each and every person watching this video. Don't never get it confused. I don't ever believe that God said all you will ever be and you were born a sinner, because that's programming. Why would the God that created us, why would your father or your mother, your parents, give you life, tell you they love you all the way up to a point, then you become an adult and you get to the age of awareness after you're not a child no more. Oh, all you will ever be is a sinner, is to stay in that loop. Because if you stay broken, you got to keep going to God. And God, I need you to heal me from my sins and and then you keep praying, and you're praying honestly from a low state, a low frequency, a low vibrational state when you say all I am, because all I am, God said, whatever you say after I am, it shall be. In the Bible, it talks about the power of your words, speaking it into existence. So when we get to speaking about coherent resonance, the majority of people turn the light switch on. And they get some, oh man, like this is, I'm manifesting. Click, and they turn the light switch off. Because it is a deprogramming and a reprogramming. The reason they turn the light switch off is because they're only used to operating from a low frequency. The moment you move to a different place, I've done it. I left my hometown, 1 hour north of Detroit. I went to the mountains and I had to be around a bunch of people who didn't look like me, who didn't speak like me. And it was growth. It was in those moments where God was like, I am separating you. This is the moments where God is showing you that you are a chosen one, because you are set aside. You are not in those low level environments no more, those low thought processes that says that only thing you can do is in the four walls of your city, your community, your hood. And then when you get to growing and processing different and speaking different and thinking different, your cognition is on a whole nother platform, a whole nother dimension. Oh, bro, you didn't change. You didn't switched up. You didn't got different. You got acting bougie. You think you better than us. No, I think I'm better than who I used to be. In fact, I didn't even know that I had the ability to be better than that. And today, this video is to unlock that power, that God power that is within each and every one of us. This video is about you. It's not about me. But coherent resonance is very real. And if you ever in your life want to manifest your wildest desires, There's an old you, and there's a you that is here to emerge. That you that's here to emerge, you have to, what they say, you have to grant the permission, because you don't know. You're operating from your old self. You're at a threshold. You're at a fork in the road. You're going to choose to go left, or you're going to choose to go right. You're going to choose to keep operating from your old self, where you're going to say, I'm going to step into it and I'm going to apply this magnetic power, this magnetism. If you want to operate from magnetism and you want to be the greatest version of yourself, that means I'm operating from it. Turn the light switch on, turn the power switch on. Don't turn it back off. Don't go back into your old self. Let's not operate from the lacks and limitations. Let's deprogram and reprogram, brainwash yourself into living and operating only from the coherent resonance, that new identity that is you. I can do all things through Christ who I could do all. See, it don't say I can do some things. It don't say all you will ever be is a sinner. It says I can do all things. And I'm going to keep speaking about coherent resonance. I'm going to keep speaking about coherent resonance because it is operating from the infinite field of possibilities, the true God power. It is turning that life power switch on and saying I'm only going to operate from the highest version of myself. And what that means for people out there that's not realizing it, it's letting go of your old self and everything that constantly reminds you of who you used to be, because all they can see is who you were. They cannot see who you are becoming, because the God within each and every one of us, y'all, the God that is within each and every one of us only revealed it to us and the chosen ones, the people who can speak life into you. See, I give thanks because I began to ask God. I said, God, what's my purpose? And God let me know before, but I wasn't listening. I didn't know how to listen spiritually. And I'm going to tell you, if you want to understand your purpose, your gifts, your light, it is operating from this power forever. Your purpose is what you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. We overcomplicate it. God gave me the power to speak life into people, and not only speaking life, but seeing in them what they refuse to see in themselves. They operate from it for a second, then they operate in the lack and limitations, and they go back into their old self. And the reason why people go back into their old self is because they're more concerned with what their peers think. This is the total state. Within your vulnerability is within your God power. You got to operate from it and live in it. Notice it took me 18 minutes to get this level of passion. You operate from it and you live in it, and you operate from it and you live in it. It becomes autonomous. Nobody can stop this but you. I wish I would have been operating from this level back then, because, like, listen, your wealth is operating from your God power, y'all. In fact, I'm going to do a part 2 to this. This going to either be part 1 or part 2. So if you see another video talking about coherence, realize that, dang, I charged all the way up. And I want y'all to know that I love y'all, man. It's fresh, and this is Guerrilla Hustle. I could keep going. I'm about to drop a part 2. Coherent resonance. Make sure y'all share this video. Listen, if y'all stayed to this point, if you stayed for 18 minutes, that means something I said has held you this long. Don't you think, man, all you could do, man, for me, man, is share the video. I'm growing these channels organically, my Facebook, my YouTube. Shout out to Unseen Twisted Truths, who share every one of my videos. Kim, thank you. Family, thank you. If you stayed to this point in the video, share the video. Coherent resonance is very real. It's very real. It's very powerful. And as long as you create that new identity, use AI to give you practical 30-day practical plan to operate from coherent resonance. And then after you do the 30 days, then make it give you another 365-day plan. Listen, this is so powerful and so profound. This is going to be in my book. I'm actually using AI, and I'm taking AI to help me organize it. But all of the words I'm speaking into artificial intelligence and using my own words. I'm going to create the chapters, make the chapters as long as a chapter in a regular book, and however many pages. I asked it, how many chapters is in David Goggins' books? It's between 10 and 12. I said, okay, we're going to go 10 to 12 chapters. Coherent resonance is going to be one of the chapters in the book. All right. I love y'all, man. I know this video was long, but make sure y'all share it. Like, comment, subscribe. It's fresh. This is Gorilla Hustle. Peace and love.